allow the two children to attend the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
Off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one na dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Can he dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no wan make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn àìsídó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ra jù.
Hello there, brethren. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. Thank you for joining me. And please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us on another political conversation. And if time permits tonight, we will take calls again and, you know, to hear from the audience as well. So tonight we are starting from what Tambuwal, the leading figure in this their opposition coalition against Kolu. She was a guest on Charles' program on Arise TV yesterday, and this is more or less like a follow-up to what happened or transpired during his supposed birthday colloquium in Abuja. They were talking about the reasons why they are pulling forces together in order to rescue Nigeria. Then, as you know, it was asked of the possibility of Peter Obi becoming the presidential candidate of the coalition in order to challenge Tinubu in 2027. So Tambuwal, Charles was pretty much like emphasizing on the success, or should I say, the achievement of Peter Obi and the Obidients, and also their significance in this political compensation. So, political dispensation rather. So, Tambuwal said, well, if it was about voting alone that decides Nigeria's election, well, maybe that would be plausible. However, in Nigeria, the elections or the election outcome is not determined by the voters alone. In fact, what happened after people cast their votes determines who is declared winner in Nigeria election. Therefore, their coalition should be seen as, you know, the coming together of the good, the bad, and the ugly for common good, whatever that means, right? So that is where we are going to start this evening. And there were other things he said, which we also captured. So thank you so much for joining. Again, share the broadcast if you haven't, okay, already. And let's get started.
It's not completely decided by the electorates. I can say that, and without mincing words. We know quite oftentimes that at collation level, be it at the polling unit, at the ward level, at local government level, at the state level, or even at the national level, things happen that misrepresent what voters actually voted for.
But then you've benefited from elections, and also you've challenged outcomes of elections.
Yes.
Where exactly is the system breaking down? Is it INEC, is it the courts, or the politicians themselves?
Both. It's a combination of both.
Right.
Politicians, yes. As I said in my earlier remarks, they try to find corners to cut. So wherever there is a loophole, politicians take advantage of that loophole. And INEC, from day one, in terms of the day of the election, be it failure of either beavers or failure of whatever technology, and then inability to transmit, even to start the election on time, and then transmit the results, count the results and transmit them. In between, you find INEC officials being compromised.
So would you support full electronic transmission of results nationwide, even if it costs you or your party victories?
I wholeheartedly support any reform that will improve the electoral process of Nigeria, including electronic transmission. Even if I, assuming I'm going to contest an election in 2027, will lose to that process,
Right.
I don't mind.
But you yourself have changed. I mean, you mentioned that at the outset. You've changed political platforms in the past. Many Nigerians see defections as political opportunism. What makes your own decisions different?
Basically, as I said, in 2003, I believe the process was not fair to me. I left and joined the ANPP.
But when you say it wasn't fair to you, you mean you lost?
I lost. It was manipulated,
Right.
and I
No,
lost.
but that's what all the other politicians who switch
well,
parties
I am
say.
speaking for myself, and
Right.
that's the truth.
Right.
I lost that unfair process. I tested my popularity, and I won in 2003. In 2007, our political leader, then Bafra Sokoto said, Bafra said, I was not popular enough to run. I said, okay. I ported with one Mokus camp. We tested our popularity, and we won. And then in 2007, I had no issues with the ticket. I remained in PDP. In 2011, I had no issues with the ticket. I remained in PDP. In 2015, I was part of the process of the G5 governors who splitted from PDP
To APC.
to APC, to form the APC. So it was about my conviction, particularly on issues around and about good governance.
Right. In that regard, is party ideology still relevant in Nigeria? Has it ever had any relevance, or are parties now just vehicles for winning power?
For me, I have my doubt on parties being ideologically driven. It's not. I don't believe so. Thus far, most of the parties have been used just as vehicles or conveyor belts.
So in that regard,
To a
you've
particular
used them as well as a vehicle.
I admit that that was the issue. It's not about ideology. Okay, if it's about ideology, what was President Muhammadu Buhari doing in APC with some characters that we have in APC? If it was about ideology, what I don't want to mention names, but if you look at President Muhammadu Buhari then, the way he was being perceived, the way he was being viewed, what was he doing with some characters in politics? As of today, in APC and in PDP, in ADC, we still have, what I may describe as political courts of many colors. I mean, people who ordinarily about ideology should not be straight bedfellows. It's not completely.
We have said something like that on this platform severally, okay? And I kind of see him being honest, all right, without being like, dilly-dallying or dancing around the question. Nigerian politics and political parties, especially Nigerian politics, Nigerian political parties, Nigerian politicians are not driven by ideology. And that is why, for those who sometimes listen to them when they are showing up all of this, their promises and all this nonsense, staged, displays all over the place, promising you things that you can begin to, when you begin to put them side by side, then you realize that what exactly is the ideological, brain behind all these parties. So you realize that there's none. He is honest enough to tell you that they all use political parties as a vehicle to power. Where you get power, you can decide your ideology then. And yes, you can direct the country to any direction you want, like APC have done, and like all of them have done, by the way. So if they can't have their way here, the right thing to do, if your pursuit of power is very much like, serious, then you have to jump ship. So in that sense, to them in Nigeria, the politicians who are deciding the fate of millions of people, right? They are not driven by any ideology to better your lot, to better your lives, or to even make Nigeria better. It is basically about them. And they are probably the largest, or they are in the majority, so to say. And that's why you have this broken system that continue to pop up, this characters as your leaders, state governors, and the rest of them. So like Bokwari, back then, like a reference, right? Some are now probably asking, what is Peter Obi doing in their midst? In the midst of these spent forces, that is what some people call them. Why you should call them spent forces? That they are old, they are weak, they are spent. They needed this fresh, sort of like a blood of you, the obedience, to probably gain back life and stuff like that. So what is Obi doing with them? Well, same thing. It is the coming together of the good, the bad, the ugly. And as the system continues to present or make the platform more or less like to keep presenting you these half-baked roads, right? So you would have to choose between the devil and the blue sea. So it was asked, right? If they are hoping to cash on, or what do you call it, the obedient drive, like it was in 2023, going to 2027. But what if Peter Obi what if Peter Obi loses the presidential ticket of the APC? Do they think they can still hold the support of the obedient? Well, his answer is this.
The ADC at the moment.
Well, Charles, you are right by saying that I have been part of the coalition, and there is a possibility of transitioning to ADC and consulting our stakeholders in Sokoto and other stakeholders across the country for us to conclude on that. However, I have said on a program aired by Arise that I don't join issues with Ayufayoshi. Before. I said so before. I still stand on what I've said.
Well, it's not about him, it's about the point he's making.
Then refer to your question and ask me.
Well, let me put it that way, this way then. If the ADC does not field Peter Obi as its presidential candidate in 2027, do you agree with those who say the party will be stuck with spent forces and wouldn't stand a chance?
Well, I don't agree with that. I believe that the leadership of the ADC, from the very foundation, from what we've been discussing, one, we agreed that we must have very clear, transparent primary election. And if we have it, whoever emerges, all of us in the coalition will support that candidate. Either Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi,
or even yourself.
Well, I'm talking about those who have clearly indicated interest in running.
And of those people, is there anyone that you particularly support?
Well, when we get to that bridge,
well, we are at that bridge.
We are not there yet.
The bridge is this interview.
No. It's not this interview.
Right. Okay.
I have been playing a major role in the coalition.
Right.
So it will be too insensitive for me
I understand
to come out right now and say I'm supporting this or that or that.
I understand.
Yes.
But let me put it another way, because we talked about your political.
So when we get to that bridge, when they get to that bridge, they will cross it. Tambuwal is a slippery politician. He is the guy that thought with a wiki. In fact, he's the guy that broke with a wiki. For real. Turned him to what he now sort of like became. Tambuwal was a friend to Wiki for a very long time. In fact, right, Tambuwal himself said in 2019, when he wanted to be governor or something, right, in Sokoto, or for his second term in Sokoto, it was Wiki that supported him when he's already lost all kind of like a ground to go for second term. But upon all of that, he never really asked him for anything, even though we all saw the open betrayal that Wiki suffered in the hand of Tambuwal that evening of the PDP presidential primaries, when he stepped down for Atiku and directed all of his supporters, all his delegates, even from other states apart from Sokoto, to go on and support Atiku. That broke Wiki to what he's become today. The menace is kind of like humiliating or cursing right now. Yeah. But yeah, this is what you have to say about him and their relationship, just before I show you something next.
Once ran for president under the banner of the PDP.
Yes.
And it was reported that your main backer for the ticket was Nyesom Wike. Is that a fact?
Yeah, he was backing me very well.
So he's your chum. He's your political buddy. If you
Well, he was my partner
at the time.
at that time.
Right. So does that give you a sense of how allegedly meddlesome he can be, given what is going on in Rivers State today, and how difficult things might be for Governor Fubara? Because if you had been successful in your attempt to win the presidential ticket, you actually did very well. You came second to Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
But if you had been successful, might he have made the same kind of overbearing demands he's reported to be making of Governor Fubara?
Well, let me say this.
In order to sustain his support.
Let me say this possibly for the first time to the public. When I ran the primaries of 2019, I and Governor Wjen had not had any pact of he being my running mate. Because it has been
Yes, it's been said that he wanted to be your vice presidential
not at all
candidate.
He never requested that. I must be fair to him. And he never gave me that condition. Or this is what he must take in government, or this is what he must have. So if maybe he's had that with Fubara.
So what was his condition for supporting? I mean, there must have been a reason for supporting.
The reason is that he identified me as someone young and then someone who can do the job. I believe it was about my capacity.
Right.
Not about any opportunism of him coming to manipulate the government if and when we want.
So you're saying publicly and unequivocally that there were no demands from him?
No.
Right, okay. Well, let's leave it at that. Let's turn to the party.
Yeah, let's leave it like that. So, Wike was so good to him, like on record, it was so good to him that when Sokoto State became bankrupt, like Osun State, they didn't declare Sokoto State bankrupt because there was a back channel funding coming from Rivers State, all tailored towards, because he was going for second term and he was also running for president in PDP then, and Wike was backing him. That was how much money he pumped in there, building what he called building the PDP towards 2023, when it will be the turn of the South, and Wike will be backed by Fubara and others, but he was betrayed. 1.8 trillion naira in total of River State money, right, drowned into Wike's presidential ambition that spanned like 5 years before everything collapsed in 2023. So yeah, if Tambuwal is now involved in the supposed, leadership of this new coalition, a coalition that many are already kind of claiming is for Atiku. I mean, that the impression, right? So if Tambuwal is part of that and Peter Obi is there, it's kind of like a slippery slope, Abi. I won't speak for you, all right? But here is something. Peter Obi's sort of relevance might be downplayed by those who are yet to actually really recover from what happened in 2023. Again, a lot of them have spent a lot of time downgrading it or downplaying it, but there should always be a reminder, right? Somebody that the establishment laughed at, their supporters laughed at him, and even some non-entities placed a bet that if Obi scored 1 million votes, they should declare him winner. There were others who were like, he won't even win one local government area. Then the tsunami started. With confidence that they've had everything under control, then the shock started happening, that they had to crash their own multi-billion-naira electoral technological platform that they wanted to use for this particular election. Suddenly, this what do you call it? Security proof something election result platform, IREF, shut down midday when the election results started coming in. And finally, while they tried to kind of like a mob the numbers from everywhere to declare Tinubu winner after 1 month. How many days did it take them to declare Tinubu winner? A whole week, Abi. Anyway, so they declared their call winner, but they couldn't present the results, how he got the number, even up to tomorrow. There is no like any evidence of the numbers of Tinubu's votes. But finally, not only that, he trounced them in Lagos, trounced them in Abuja, beat them inside the Aso Rock, Aso Villa, Aso Koro, and the rest of all over Abuja. They said, quote, that Obi won 11 states plus Abuja, and Tifku won 12 states. Tinubu won 12 states. And that's the man that some of these guys will tell you, right, that is below Atiku. I mean, I have kind of tried to reason though, right? Come on, that's actual blasphemy in a way. Somebody will not get platform, will not get all this connection, will not get all this associates. He's got almost none of this establishment behind him. Then boom, in 7 months, shook the entire system. And today he's part of a coalition that some are thinking they are overbearing, they are asking for too much. Who do they think they are? The same bragging of their 2022, 2023. Right? I just thought I should remind you. Okay? Somebody is talking here. They call him Uzo or something. He's the National Vice Chairman of the APC in the eastern part of Nigeria. The same people pumping their chest, beating their chest. You know, like all these abandoned dwarfs, right? Or the mountain dwarfs, they call them, right? They're pumping their chest. Then they all got trounced in the eastern part of Nigeria that it actually caused most of their own personal shame enough that despite all they believe they have done for APC, contributed to APC, APC still practically doesn't really recognize them, right? So here is the National Vice Chairman. I didn't know this guy until today, honestly. But yeah, he's talking about what the Igbos have concluded, why the Igbos have concluded to vote for Tinubu. That whatever a lot of you are thinking about Peter Obi is just been exaggerated. In order for them to collect their money and just keep short, right? But here is the old man.
It will please me, with all due respect, to bring our elder, Wood, former governor, up to speed. The first thing is that he should understand the basis of what happened on the 10th of this month, on Saturday. Our party, our people, Ndi Igbo, have this culture that during the end of the year, and it falls during the period of Christmas break, the Igbos hold family meetings. Various families interrogate the affairs of members of the family. They interrogate the future and past of the family, okay? And they hold meeting and decide on the best way, the best course to chart for the family. And in this case, Ndi Igbo have met all through the Christmas period. There was a lot of consultation. We consulted with the trade unions. We consulted with the traditional rulers. And the Igbo people, after all those consultations, decided to make the opinion clear and known to the world. The decision of Ndi Igbo to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his second tenure. That was simply what happened. And bringing Okwesileze Nwodo to speed, what happened in 2023 was a fluke. And in every democracy, there is something they call mid-term elections. The mid-term election is like an assessment of the candidates. Peter Obi was said to be popular in the 2023 election because he hoodwinked our youth. They intimidated us. The election was funny. And in Anambra State, a couple of elections held in the recent history last year. His senatorial zone, the Anambra South senatorial zone, there was a Senate election. The Anambra State itself, there was a governorship election. In 2023, you can bear with me that a lot of people won election just because they were with Peter Obi in his party. But in the recent election last year, it was like a referendum. Peter Obi could not deliver his candidate in the Senate election. He could not deliver his candidate in the governorship election. It shows that the people have left him. If his senatorial zone can abandon him, and his state can abandon him, he has lost the people. That popularity is no. It will please me, with all due respect, to bring our elder.
So that's the APC National Vice Chairman, Southeast Nigeria, speaking with that calm and confidence, because they have done the consultation, family meetings, and they are no longer with Peter Obi. I don't know if Tinubu will believe that, though. You get what I mean? Because, of course, the last time, Peter Obi recorded almost 90% of the votes cast in the eastern part of Nigeria. 1.9 million votes. No, hang on. Was it 1.9? Yeah, 1.9 million votes out of the entire 2.1 million votes from the eastern part of Nigeria. Obi got that. And these guys were there. So I don't know if they walk straight to Tinubu and tell him that the Igbos are no longer with him. Look at that Senate election. He couldn't even deliver his polling units. They are no longer with him, this or that. Ignoring every other thing going on in that same Labour Party. Anyway, with that confidence, right, I hope Tinubu will pay them well. And the consultations like this, which is what they promote anyway, can continue.
For us to be in the position we are, be able to get what we send home. So as the people eat this rice, let prosperity, let it bring end of hunger. And let it stimulate farmers to farm more. I'm happy that what we are eating today is Nigerian rice. Thanks to Mr. President's food security agenda. I can assure you that in the next one week, the price of rice in Abia will drop. Because of this amount of rice I have pumped into Abia, go and check the market. That kind of food security the President is asking for. That food will be affordable to masses. So we commence this institution in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people who are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger. Because some people will be at indoor. There's no way to make our own life. I'm highly disappointed of Nigeria.
To recruit from the youths who are unemployed, 33% unemployed.
You complain about insecurity, right? You complain about unemployment, right? Yes. You complain about the fact that, oh, we are hungry, right? You say we want to protest, right? You say, oh, you don't have medical facilities, right? You say you don't have good schools and good teachers, right? You say minimum wage, right? complain about insecurity, right? You complain about unemployment, right? Yes. You complain about the fact that, oh, we are hungry, right? You say we want to protest, right? You say, oh, you don't have medical facilities, right? You say you don't have good schools and good teachers, right? You say minimum wage, right?
Give them rice. Prince Jejeman even gave us, you know, a fantastic sort of like track on that. Give them rice. Did you hear that clown saying that the imported rice that they have bagged to share, I mean, they share to the people, right? Is going to bring down the price of rice. It's going to encourage the farmers to farm. And it is also going to bring down hunger in Jesus' name. Like, you know, oh, that's in Abia State though. And I bet there will be more rice delivered to the people of Eastern Nigeria by these clowns before this year's run out, yeah? We'll see. Now let's leave them there and maybe we should go to that Sokoto, in fact, where Tambuwal comes from, okay? Now, last December, which is like on Christmas Day, the United States government or the United States President Trump announced that the U.S. joined this or that. They carried out an airstrike against the ISWAP in Sokoto, and a lot of them died, right? Their camp destroyed and the rest of that. And I actually mentioned something like that yesterday as well when I said, we haven't really seen much of this terrorism or these terrorists carrying out their usual attacks around Sokoto. Or it seemed that I spoke too early because that same yesterday, right? The notorious Bello Turji is reported to have led his own armed Fulani terrorist to several Sokoto communities, villages, where some others have, they have to take to their ears, those who survived or those who are yet to be attacked. Everybody started packing and they were leaving their communities, creating again an additional inflow of refugees who have ended up in the refugee camps in Nigeria. Currently, the report says that over 20 million Nigerians have been displaced, right? And more than 80% of this is from the upper part of the country due to these incessant attacks, community raid, and killings and all that. So here is a community called, Tidebe in Sokoto, where people, children, women had to run for their lives before the arrival of Bello Turji. You remember what he looks like, right? I'll show you. So this is Bello Turji, the guy who is made by the current Minister of Defense States, Matawale. This Bello Turji is once, or should I say was once upon a time, among the leaders of the terrorist granted amnesty by the Zamfara state government when Bello Matawale, which we called Bello Patawale, was their governor. Bello Patawale is known to have his own different armed Fulani terrorist groups who are guiding several illegal mines across the state. This is a public knowledge. And guess what? This guy on your screen has been declared killed more than 4 times by the Nigerian army. He's broken deals with them. He's slaughtered as many Nigerian armies as he's laid his hands on. Do you get that? So this Bello Turji, who publicly came to tell everybody that the reason why he went back into this act of terrorism was because the Minister of Defense of Nigeria right now, Bello Patawale, reneged on their agreements, betrayed him, and he cannot be trusted. And he did all of that to him simply because Bello Patawale, the Minister of Defense, is currently siding with the rival terror group. And if anybody thinks Nigeria is looking for him simply because he's a terrorist. They are wrong. They are looking for him simply because he is out of favor with those in charge of the Nigeria defense. Simple. So he is still very much alive, operating. And this was at Dibele in Sokoto yesterday.
Sana dogon bidiyo mai daɗiya.
Mana.
Ita wai yanki a take.
Okay, shot take yi. Gaskiya tana yi.
Saka motoci sun ka saba da wannan. Ma da kan sai karfiya.
Amma in na je can gaban gidan Sale ba sai a yan gaba.
Bari duk sai sun gama. Sannun ku Allah ya tsare.
Kalle na ya kare kanci ne.
Na mashin din?
Na mashin. Na motar nan dai da rika ma sani. Na'am?
Ofisa, sami aiki. Allah ya tsare.
Ya daidai.
Ba har kana cikin tawagaga. Dogo.
Sani.
Barka da.
Bari su taka ɗan sa.
We are together. Good night. Mota ai wai akwai wanda kirga motocin gaba.
Ban kirga amma na zo yanzu ƙarshe sai na kirga shi. Baya?
Amin Allah.
Ai baran ƙara baya. Masar ya wuce? Bisa mashin yake. Ya wuce ina ganin.
Ba ta kama koyar.
Amma shi zarauta ta ne tun da akwai wanda ya baro mota can to.
Yanzu haka? Cikin isa din? Da kaya?
Kai kamar ɗaukar su kai kasa.
Kai, haji kaurin wani abu. Laina ne. Kai, ku gyara mu wuce.
Country will get sovereignty. Nigeria sovereignty, Nigeria sovereignty. Nigeria is not at war. Nigerians are packing their belongings. They are leaving their ancestral homes. They are leaving everything else behind. The memories, the ancestors. The way you, that convoy that you just saw there, right? These are people who are like living, possibly for a long time. Do you get that now? People were packing their own beds. They are packing their personal belongings that are just beyond just simple things. No, they are like living. They left their homes because they know that they cannot be protected. And guess where some of them ended? I'll show you. Again, this is still in Sokoto. The people who ran away from it, the Diabali village and other communities in Isa local government area of Sokoto State. Some of them ended up here, including children. Somebody said, what is Tinubu doing about it? If you ask me, now who I go ask? Inside Nigeria, inside Sokoto Caliphate, right? Which simply means they are like possibly 100% Muslims in this sense, Abi. But I am not hearing from Gumi and the rest of them reacting to this because we have no exact number of these people, like what thousands, how many thousands, thousands a day. Where is the National Emergency Management Agency of Nigeria, NEMA? Okay, where we saw the supposed armed military or thereabouts standing by, guiding the convoy or something. At least we saw that in the video, right? Where are the emergency workers and the government of Sokoto State, the government of Nigeria? No, you are on your own. That's the situation of the country. You are on your own. Just do everything to make sure that you are not kidnapped. You don't become a victim. Women, children, in their millions. And that's how the number swells. That's how the number build up. Thousands here, hundreds there, thousands there, tens of thousands there. And when you combine everything for a war that has now lasted over a decade, right? In a country where in that Nigeria, I think it's in Katsina, the government and the governor of Katsina they freed 75 repentant terrorists just yesterday. They asked one of the governors that the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria is so much that all of you governors are driving long convoys, protecting yourselves and the rest of that. Do you know what he said? He said, do you think they are happy? That they are very sad. Even inside the convoy, they are not happy. Something like that. This mofo is the governor of Katsina. So ahead.
Wahala.
saboda da ka taka jirgi kawo sai a ce ai gwamna ya hita bayan nan ya bar gari bai zama an yi kaza mutane gani suke ma kamar wani jin daɗi kake yi in ka yi tafi abin da ke jin daɗi ai shine ka tafi ka huta kai abu in ka je can programs ɗin kama ɗaya bayan ɗaya haka dawo baka da lokacin da kake yi in ka je abuja yanzu tun laraba muka tai abuja tun da muka je program muke yi har jiya ran asabar har cikin daren jiya na dawo katsina su haka rayuwar take amma wani sai ta ganin ka an yi buhu da motoci da 'yan sanda shi ya gani kake yi jin daɗi kake ko kana burge shi wahala ce ake yi amma mu muka saya tun da mu muka nemi gaba
nuisance leleyi
Bro, it's kind of like telling everybody that they are sad. You know what I mean? Like, we are also not happy. We are very unhappy. Do you think we are happy inside the convoy and all these security things? No. Then what are you doing about it? They are negotiating with a terrorist. Yeah, they are making passages for some of these deadly terrorists. Some of them are like, being recruited into the security sort of like forces, planting them here and there, right? And then, let you know how much it's very heartbreaking. Do you really think I am happy inside this Lincoln Navigator? I'm not happy. It's just that, it just looks like I am happy inside it, sort of. Robes. And that is what the system continues to produce from the north to the west to the east to the south to name it. Characters that are completely unbefitting, holding sensitive public positions, making vital, important, life-altering decisions for people. And they most of them have no idea of what they are doing. Take, for instance, in those states, which I shared yesterday, they have been under endless kidnappings, abductions, killings in the hands of these armed terrorists too. Edo is very far from the border of Sahel in Niger, far away from Sokoto. But what those in Sokoto are suffering, Edo people are also suffering it in monumental scale, that it has almost become like a norm. The government of the state put together vigilantes to go after supposedly cultists and other armed groups. But what happened to the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists especially? Well, that is beyond them. So they just have to either silence those they believe continue to mouth it, or try to change the narrative entirely by politicizing it. Yeah, they'll tell you that there's insecurity all over the country. It's not just this place. Why are you so fixated about this one in this state? Why don't you keep your mouth shut? Do you want us to look bad? That kind of, leadership. And that's what is playing out in Edo states, unfortunately. Your governor of Edo, the clown, right, has now come out to politicize the people, the students. Okay, let me even give you the full gist or paraphrase it. In the course of this, they've had several protests calling the attention of the government to do something like everywhere else, right? But of course, their requests and their prayers have met the same response, cold response, which is do nothing. Politicians say a lot, they talk so much, but they do nothing. So it is believed that the students and others protested, especially the students who themselves have also fallen victims of these kidnappings. Some of them have been killed, others have paid ransoms that, you know what I mean? So they staged protests and are calling on the government to do something, protect them, students. The next thing they saw was a state-sponsored violence that came and started rounding people up in their own hostels at night. It doesn't really matter if you participated in the protest. People were not arrested on the protest ground. No, there was no reason for it. But they were not okay. So they invaded the schools, invaded the hostels, rounded up as many people as possible, 52 of them. Then they accused them of stealing goods during the protest against kidnapping, robbing shops, and the rest of that. None of this happened. But do you want to see the humiliation when they took them to court yesterday? They were making videos, and the voice on the video indicting them specifically to make an impression on Tinubu. This is Nigeria.
Asiwaju, President of Nigeria. These are the crying faces that are sent to Ubiaja Correctional Center for what they know nothing about. Sir, we did not participate in that protest. The people that participated in that protest, they are in their houses. They are walking freely on the streets, and nothing happened to them. Sir, we are begging you. We are being punished for what we know nothing about. Sir, we are your children. We are your children, sir. Please, have mercy on us. Even if at all we even offended you, at least a father must have mercy for his child. We are all your children. Have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Nobody can deny what we are seeing this government doing in Edo State. Therefore, we will not support vandalism. We go support vandalism. No. We go support destruction of property. No. We go support obstruction of a movement. No. We go put tire for road. No. If you not see anybody first when he do it, more than tell us if we come out now, we go bring the car for. Asiwaju, President of Nigeria.
Asiwaju, we are your children. They don't even care that their own fundamental human rights is being infringed upon. Because to them, they are students too. These are people who are supposed to be students. But they are raised in a system that wanted them to actually remain mentally enslaved in that sense. Because what are they going to do? Like, who are they going to turn to? They believe that if the state wanted them punished, whether they have done anything wrong or not, if the state want them punished, they will be punished. They will be sent to prison. And in fact, the impression across their system in Nigeria is that, if you go listen to people where they shout on social media, once they send you to prison now, all these people on social media will not even like come and save you. Everybody will just pretend that you don't exist anymore. So this reverse psychology is working so well in the country that even the educated people believes it, because I think it is true in a way. So there is no fighting spirit to make them feel like this is wrong. I mean, we were taught in school that this is wrong. There must be part of the education system that should raise you on what they call the civil responsibility, the law and the rest of that. Abi, something that as a citizen of a country, you'll be like, no, I mean, I've got some rights. In Nigeria, you don't have any right. Because the moment the system, like this Dodo, your governor, put it, find you guilty, you will now you will forget everything law, you forget everything right or anything, or how you are treated. Forget about that. You have to begin to look for people to help you beg them. These are people running the country.
Okay, now somebody came out from a car, entered his house, you kidnapped him, you did not even ask for us, or you did not ask for anything. The people that kidnapped this guy marked their face. That is not the traditional way of Fulanis. And he did not go far. They killed him. The next day, they came up with sentiment, protest, looting. This is not acceptable. We must make sure that we bring these people to book. We must We must go after them. The way we are going after the kidnappers, the same way we will go after them. Because we don't even know whether they are the one aiding them. We don't know whether they are the one giving them information. By the time we finish this operation that will happen here, these things will stop in essence as a whole.
Nuisance, Lele. Nuisance.
The Okwe Odoyo of Edo, right, is telling the Oba, what do you call that chief, or these chiefs in Edo, PG or something, anyway, talking to one chief in that axis that the people who kidnapped somebody, you remember that video? Yeah, so the video of that kidnapping in Ekpoma, right? So the governor is saying, those who went to protest, they should know that the terrorists or the kidnappers cover their faces, so the Fulanis don't cover faces. So they didn't have any full information and they went out to go and protest. The terrorists have not even made demand for ransom. So they went out to protest. Then in that same mumbo jumbo jargons is kind of like a spewing there, right? He also, indirectly said, who knows, maybe these are the people who are giving the kidnappers information. I mean, the protesters, maybe they are the ones giving kidnappers information. Then he said, he will also go after them the same way he's going to go after the kidnappers. Yeah. Oh, I think he also got some gadgets, by the way, for our police. Watch this.
Is that we can follow them up, even in the bush, where vehicles cannot enter. There are other equipments like the technological aspect of it, which we cannot display publicly, but they should know that there is no hiding place for them now. The criminals should pack their load and leave it all. Is that?
Get that. And then this.
Your Highness, have faith. We will get this mess out of our land. We will not allow it to stay. In the next few days, you start seeing things happening. So I want to also beg you, by the time we carry out our operations, I'm not going to spare anybody that is involved. And nobody should come and beg me.
Make nobody go beg more. Except the SUG of Ambrose Ali University, the school where they abducted 52 students and then charged them for looting because they protested against kidnappings. Except for the SUG, who are ready to do Baba. Nobody should go and beg Okwe Odoyo.
Boza! I'm feeling solid American Boza for this Sabi governor. Boza man! I'm feeling Eya for your enemy. Eya!
Yeah, that. And here is what Asari himself, because I think it's the era where everybody just decreases anyway. So this is Nigeria. So those of you who usually go onto Asari's social media to abuse him, or I don't know, he said this, and it is a warning. He called it warning.
When you call a Google, so all of you who are peddling this thing on my comment section, we have marked all of you out. We know all they are hiding. We have marked all of you out. And if I hear, listen to me, if I hear that you are involved in threatening any of us, or you work to harm any one of us, I will get you like this. Bam. This is how I'll get you. Bam. Me, I know fear you now. When you come, I do go.
This This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. Since 1992, when I encounter you, I don't think this is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. That calls me his friend, and I call him my friend, and calls me my son, and I call him my father. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know. This is not the Ahmed Bola Tinubu I know.
I said, if Ahmed Bola Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
You say?
I say, if Tinubu fails, hold me responsible.
Thank you.
The job people are already angry that this is the worst government.
We have just started.
We must learn a lesson.
This man!
You're gonna trust man, hand down. Your eyes will see what your mouth cannot talk.
Anyway, that was just for those of you who usually take pleasure in taunting Asari on social media. So that's a new one. I'll give you the like that. Right. The Dodoyo governor of Edo also reported his predecessor, the Obaseki, to Akpabiole. Because according to him, Obaseki is a thief. And from the money he stole from the people of Edo State, he's using the same money to fund opposition against him. And he said this where he was donating security vehicles, I think. No, agricultural something. Yeah, the Opeodoyo.
Mr. Senate President, I will not only welcome you to commission our agricultural equipment, which we promise our people is part of my five-point agenda. Part of my promise is being fulfilled today. But before I begin, Mr. Senate President, you are a powerful man in this country, number 3 man in this country. I want to passionately beg you, please, I want Obaseki back home to come and answer some questions. Mr. Senate President, Edo is not meant for 419 states. And nobody can use Edo to commit fraud internationally. Edo government has also been defrauded. So, when the committee led by Adam Soshomole's report is out,
things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Yeah. So somebody was asking about Kolu. What is Kolu doing to all of this? What's he doing about all of this? Well, Kolu spent 169 days outside Nigeria in 2025. Out of 365 days, have been 366 days. So when you deduct that, it will come like say Kolu only spent maybe about 190 days or thereabouts in Nigeria in the entire 2025. And this is 2026. He has left Paris for Abu Dhabi to go and talk about climate change. Yeah. Kolu.
really stimulate agriculture and exports.
If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Here is a successful, again, a town hall, different from Bulaba.
So, Kalu went there to talk about climate change and the rest, the blah, the blah. So I have kept the boring part for the last part of the charts tonight, all right? So what did Kalu tell them in that hall? Trust me, the entire thing was written for him. He's got his teleprompter in front of him. So you can just probably just watch Kalu reading something, not him talking, because the last time Kalu was asked about this climate change, his answer that was not written for him remained evergreen. In case if you have forgotten.
We are a poor nation. The bank code will follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
Just so you know, but that was Kalu being honest. All right? But that is not the same Kalu in Abu Dhabi for the third time. I think, no, second time in 2 years. He's been going there to read whatever is, you know, AI generated a speech that they give to him to go and read. And after that, he always kind of like remember that if they don't guarantee our finances, we will not comply with their climate change. So Kalu is there for the money. Just something to make you like, why is he always there? For the money. Kalu.
The theme of this year's summit, the nexus of next, off-system go, underscores the urgency and integration required to substantiate a sustainable transition across finance, technology, energy, and human capital. The connections between climate and the global economy, health and energy systems, as well as food security, must now shape the way we govern and operate. At this defining moment in history, Nigeria stands with the global community, moving beyond ambition and towards delivery. The nation views the Nexus approach as an opportunity to align climate action with energy access, economic growth, job creation, and social inclusion. Sustainability. Sustainable development ensures that all systems, policy, finance, infrastructure, nature, and human capital must move together. As articulated in COP 30 in Belém, in Brazil, climate action must be fair and just. Developing countries require predictable climate finance, accessible technologies, and robust capacity building to support full climate commitment without losing focus on advancing their developmental priorities. The perspective records that the purpose of this forum, where systems must be ready to mobilize action, strengthen partnership, and deliver meaningful impact. In the year 2025, Nigeria took a major regulatory steps to strengthen our climate governance and sustainability. We adopted the National Carbon Market Activation Policy, NCMAP, and launched the National Carbon Registry to improve our measurement, reporting, and verification, MRV, the system and investor safeguards. To translate ambition to impact, we are modernizing Nigeria's energy.
Kolu. Like I said, right? They wrote that for him, and it's right there in front of him. All he has to do is just to look up and sometimes even look down, and everything is right there for him to grasp. So, Kolu is there for the money, right? And the fancy speech and the rest of all of that spending and all that, right? They're just kind of like the prop, you know, to facilitate the money. So in Nigeria, where they initially claimed that the reasons why they increased sort of like insecurity, especially caused by the Fulani terrorists, was because climate change. This idea of dragging Nigeria into the climate change discussion at the time by the American government led by Obama at the time, right, kind of like gave a bit of, you know, stability or a chance for the terrorists to amass massive, you know, followings and then weapons as well. Advance so well to entrench themselves inside Nigeria until they started wreaking havoc. And everybody now realizes that this is not climate change. This is actually a sponsored violence against the indigenous people of this space called Nigeria, where people are targeted and, you know, chased away from their communities. The survivors ended up in some slum that nobody cares about per se, as refugees, and they call them IDP, internally displaced person. A fancy word for refugees in Nigeria. So yeah, climate change is there for the money. I wanted to hear a little bit more. Yeah.
A climate and green industrialization investment playbook to unlock $25 to $30 billion annually in climate finance. The Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority has has launched a 500 million distributed renewable energy fund, while the World Bank is implementing the $750 million their programs, which will expand clean electricity access to power to over 17.5 million people. We are deepening access to green finance. Our climate investment platform targets 500 million for climate resilient infrastructure, while our National Climate Change Fund aims for a 2 billion capitalization. The 50 billion naira sovereign green bond issued in year 2025 attracted 91 billion naira in subscriptions. While the Lagos State alone, and I saw the governor sitting in the crowd, we will address you on it. While the Lagos State Governor Green Bond was oversubscribed by 97.7%. Nigeria's Energy Transition Plan, ETP, integrates energy access, climate mitigation, industrial growth, and social development into a single coherent framework, achieving net zero emission by 2060 while delivering universal energy access. Our pilot electricity mobility project is also delivering on national energy efficiency programs and aimed at reducing emission, lowering costs, and stimulating the industrial development.
All fancy words, just fancy things that they used AI to generate. Pay attention to Tinubu. Most of these guys are so lazy, right? They're so lazy, eh? Anyway, Paul himself will read things that's actually not real, not true. And it's ridiculous, right? That sometimes I feel like he believes what he's also saying himself. Okay, Nigeria made net zero, this, and then Nigeria is this. Because do you know how much Nigeria got from all these foreign grants all over the world in 2025 on climate change alone? $2 billion. That's how much Nigeria got. Yeah, in 2025. They are expecting to make at least between $3 and $3.5 billion on top this climate change campaign as well. There are different grants. Sometimes we'll give them $500 million, $600 million, $1.3 billion. Here you get. And this is why Kolu was there. I mean, this is why he's there, by the way. And then I do that every now and then. And they ask you, okay, where do you think they've spent this money, especially? You only get to know, I mean, you probably just get to know about where they spend the money, only where Kolu says they spend the money, but most of these places don't even exist. Just put some fancy words together, describe something that will get you so confused that you probably won't be interested. And that's what they need. That's how they roll. You know, climate change. And yet, farmers in northern part of Nigeria, middle belt part of Nigeria, continue to get hacked to death by these terrorists. You get what I mean? So the terrorists that are killing Nigerian farmers, and then you look around and you're like, who are you giving this money to? Who are you actually working with when you say, oh, you got this grant for this particular project in that contraption? So none of them is real. But the money, well, the money is real. You get what I mean? So yeah, Kolu is in Abu Dhabi and he is expected to return back to Nigeria. I think, what is today? Yeah, he should be back to Nigeria tomorrow or the day after, except if they have other plans. And that will make it like about 18 days that he's been away from Nigeria. Yeah, back in Nigeria, his son, who is practically representing him in this, part of this representing in his political drive. You see, they've captured Kano without any election or before any election, okay? And that itself has created some level of a security kind of upset in the state. But for Sheyi, it was there to reassure the governor, you do what you have to do, because the bone of contention right now in Kano, which I have to add as well, we are back in Nigeria, okay? So let's go back to Nigeria, right? So the bone of contention in Kano is not that the governor wants to go to APC, that is the issue. The problem is that the governor is now asking all the 44 local government chairmen in the states to also join him, and they camp to APC. That's like moving the entire state, which is expected. So Kwakwansop and Gangwa, like, you don't even have that clout. I mean, how could you? You do not control this platform. So Abba is doing it anyway. And if you are a local government chairman in Kano, right, and you're on the side of Kwakwansop, the best thing for you, according to Abba, is for you to resign. Don't get sacked, because you'll be removed and replaced, sort of. This is done. This was same with Sheyi. So Sheyi is very much involved in his father's kitchen cabinet, as they call it. He is a cabal of his own, right? And he moves kind of like heavily when it comes to the APC, kind of like I don't know how to describe that, but he kind of move heavily within them, simply because he's sort of like revered because of his father. You know, it's not just the son, first son of your, but it's actually not the first son anyway. So that was Kano. And on that note, I'm also going to take an early break again. I'm so sorry that we have to kind of do it this way sometimes, all right? So thank you so much for your time again with me tonight. Please remember to, or do not forget to like the broadcast if you haven't already. Like it, share it, right? And the next time I am here, it's going to be us all. And I'm also hoping that we are going to have our People's Parliament, the first in 2026, by the end of this month. So keep reminding you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Stay safe. Do everything. If you're watching me from Nigeria, do everything to make sure that you are never kidnapped. Right? Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wà sí lọ́rọ̀ máyégún. máyégún dayari na ibi number one. ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. máyégún dayari na ibi number one. àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó. máyégún dayari na ibi number one. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. lórí Facebook. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. lórí YouTube. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. máyégún mami. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kà mọ́. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. máyégún ti dé. ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.